Welcome back to McNulty's Book Corral. I'm back in the bar, and more importantly, I'm back in the Northwoods where I belong. I'm finishing out the Westerns we're doing for June with 3 forgotten novels from the era of spinner rack genre fiction. And we're going to talk about Saddle Wolves first, by Alan K. Eccles, who was born in 1896 and 1953. He was another writer from Texas, another writer from the great state of Texas. All right, so in this book, we have the application of a traditional plot that you've read a million times. In this one, it's Jim Wister returning home after serving 4 years in the Texas Rangers, and the ranch is sold, his father is murdered, and the girl is out of reach. That leads to a series of complications that lead to conflict that involves some gunplay, as you should expect in a Western, and pursuit, and finally reconciliation. There is nothing at all unusual about this plot. It is used in every single genre that there is. It is used to this very day. It's overused. It's really the issue becomes how well written is the book. Well, this book is particularly well written, and I really enjoyed reading it because it takes a traditional plot that we are all quite familiar with. I mean, how many movies have we seen like this, where they use this plot, returning from the war, returning home. He was in the Texas Rangers, he gets home, and everything's changed. And he has to resolve that conflict, solve those mysteries, come to grips with it. And so he does. This book is very well written, as I said. Alan K. Eccles, I have a few of his other Westerns. He was very, very good at what he did. So I'm recommending this. So what I did was, by the way, I took 3 Westerns off of my one bookshelf. I just grabbed 3 that I remembered reading that I liked. And I'd like to put those out here as samples of forgotten novels that are good if you should happen to come across them in a thrift shop. Up next we have, Trail of Lost Skulls by Nelson Nye. Nelson Nye was born in 1907 and he died in 1997. He was a ranch hand and a horse breeder, not a border breeder. And this one has a totally different type of plot. He is Yavapai Jones, I probably mispronounced that, is hired by a professor to help him search down rare bones, dinosaur-type bones. And he's paying off a debt to a character in this wacky book named Big Ass Liz. And I have a description of her. This was a very well-written book. Not quite as well written as the Eccles book, the first one, but there's a passage here that I got a kick out of, and it goes like this. With the paint scrubbed into those eroded cheeks and that ginger mop piled atop her head like a portable sunset that swirled and dipped with every twitch of her bosoms, Liz wasted no time in getting down to brass tacks. So you get really some interesting, colorful flourishes in the writing. This one gets, they're after horse bones, and he's trying to predate the horse bones from before the Spanish explorers were here. And the subplots are betrayals and subterfuge and all sorts of nonsense. Really gets foggy in the middle of this book to the end, but good enough that I would recommend it. This book, by the way, sells for about, $15 on the aftermarket. The Saddle Wolves, 7 to 10. If you see it, you shouldn't pay more than that. So Trail of Lost Skulls by Nelson Nye, 1907, 1997. And finally, we're going to get to this book. This is an interesting guy, G.J. Morgan, who was really Donald S. Rowland. He was born in 1928. I don't know if he's still with us. This is a UK Western. G.J. Morgan was one of 50-plus pen names and pseudonyms that he used in his books. He also wrote sci-fi. In this one, we have, again, the return to that traditional plot. A Confederate returns home, and you know the rest of the story. He has to resolve those conflicts. Well written. Of the 3, this is probably the second choice. I'm showing it to you in the third, but they're all pretty good. I mean, I'd recommend it if you see it. I have quite a few books under the G.J. Morgan pen name, by the way, and they're all pretty good. Good enough that I'd recommend them, is what we're getting here. Interesting trivia about G.J. Morgan, who again was really Donald S. Rowland, who wrote apparently hundreds of books. He wrote for Robert Hale Publishers, which is a publisher. They're no longer in business. And he wrote 2 books for them. I think they were both Robert Hale's, under two different pen names. One was Gun Trail by Lewis Brandt, same guy. Then he wrote Shortcut to Hell under the name Neil Webb. Apparently the books were identical, except he changed the names. And the publisher, according to the little blurb I read on the internet, had tried to pull one of these down, pull it down from distribution. One of them I found is available, Shortcut to Hell by Neil Webb, who again is really J.G. Morgan, who is really Donald S. Rowland. I may pick it up. So once I read that, I decided to add those 2 books to my list because it's such an oddity. He got caught plagiarizing his own work. So I'm going to be looking for Gun Trail by Lewis Brandt. And if I get Shortcut to Hell and Gun Trail, I'll do an episode about that. Fun material here. So again, let's just reiterate this. This is probably the best of the 3. This one's pretty good, and then this one is pretty good as well. I recommend all 3. I don't give numerical ratings and stuff. I just I either like it or I don't. If I like it well enough to recommend it, I'll say try it. So that's all you need to have from these. So with that said, that's going to finish out what they call June on the Range, which was a booktuber trend created by Michael K. Vaughan. And if you have not subscribed to his channel, you should do so. And you should Google that and find all the other guys that are doing June on the Range episodes, men and women alike. It's really fun. It's cool. Thank you, Michael K. Vaughan. And subscribe to those channels. Give them people a nod. If you go in bookstores today, how much shelf space is devoted to Westerns, right? Science fiction, unreadable science fiction. Fantasy, romance has always been popular, so they're the number 1 selling genre. And unreadable thrillers by James Patterson. You didn't hear me say that. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up. So let's take a look at some fishing footage of my beautiful wife. I'm telling you, folks, she didn't fish for decades, and now she's fishing, and she just caught a really great bass. So I'm going to show you 2 snippets of footage of her catching 2 big bass. One of them is a 6-pounder. You will not believe how fat that bass is. So I'd rather not say any more about it because I'm jealous. Anyways, it's time for me to get out there, right? That pier is right around the corner. Coming up in July, comic books, and more comic books. I don't know if these episodes will be interesting to you or not, but they're coming up. And some other surprises along the way. Trust me, up here in the North Country, things get crazy. Stay well, stay happy, feed your brain. Read a Western. 1, 2, 3.
So, Bren, guess what? I got a fish with your lure you bought me. I'm so excited. It is the best lure ever. I love you. Bye. This is the biggest one I've ever caught. John, how big is he?
6 pounds.
6 pounds at least.
I don't know how long he is.
Huge fish.
We're going to check his length.
That's beautiful.
But I'm so excited.
That is beautiful.
Come here. 21 inches.
21
yeah,
inch. That's
baby.
a 21-inch bass.
6 pounds.
Woohoo!
6 pounds that you just caught. I'm going to come over here. I want to get it from a different angle. Look at how big that bass is.
Woo!
That is beautiful, Jan. Really well done job.
Thank you.
And you caught that on that little spinner tail thing.
Spinner tail.
It's an official lure.
Ow! Ow!
Okay. Whoa, whoa.
Give me him.
All right, we're good.
Ow! 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 Ow!
All right, there he goes back in.
Whoa! See, he's with me. He's like, get me in the fucking water. Look, he